What's going on, YouTube? Someone answer me the question, and be honest, can anybody actually afford to live? We were taught for decades that if we work hard, we can get happiness. We can accomplish what we set out to accomplish. We can get our goals aligned. We'll get a piece of this American dream if we work hard. But there's a lot of people who's working hard and at this point overworking, still being devalued from a financial sense, from a physical sense, still not being able to ascertain to certain goals or basics of life, living paycheck to paycheck, struggling. This is the average American, man, basically. It's different now, guys, in 2026. Can anybody actually afford to live? If this is your first time seeing Black, hit the sub button for me, leave a like and a comment. And look, why do I want people to sub? It's simple. I'm one of those people who stay in the gray area. I'm one of those people who's not gonna sugarcoat shit, just give it to you straight. I uprooted my life out of the States because I didn't see a future anymore. The plight and plot has thickened and it didn't work out for me anymore. But at the same time, I still gotta be aware of the financial crisis, the economic crisis, the social crisis. I still gotta be aware of the poor education or lack of education of my people. Being an American citizen and being a Black individual, I still gotta be aware and still gotta promote peace, flexibility, options, and happiness. That's why you should subscribe to my channel. Anyway, let's get into the video. It was once said that all men were created equal. All men would have access to basic living conditions. Food to eat, clothes on our back, a bed to sleep in, a job to make fair wages. We vote to be represented by the government. We vote to be heard. But it doesn't matter. Who is upholding the true values that are the core of America? Who can really help? Because while the rich get richer, while the influence gains more power and reign, who's looking out for us, the people? Who has our back when we become less than? This is America. I was told at a young age, get an education, finish high school. If you don't finish high school, go back and get your GED, right? Get some sort of diploma. I was told at a young age, go to college or get a trade, get something higher level to separate yourself from the mass group of people who do graduate from high school. Get that education, right? Get an AA, get a bachelor's, you know what I'm saying? Or if you don't go to school outside of high school, because high school was mandatory, get a job, start working ASAP. I did a little mix of both. So guys, I want to talk about my little experience first and I'll make it general, because I don't want anybody thinking I got this shit right or mastered. I'm only talking off of experience. Yet I see my experience in other people's eyes. I see my experience in other people's lives. You know what I'm saying? So I want to talk about my experience first. I started working at 14 at Wendy's. And I simply started working because I didn't want to wait for my mom to buy me shoes. Simple stuff, right? I didn't want to wait for my mom, or always had to ask my mom to give me video games, right? So I started working at 14. I was just about to turn 15. I had a long, or I guess one of my most stable jobs while I was in high school going to college at 16, you know, as a cashier. So I've been working for a long time. I guess, in a way, it's long for me, you know? It's been over 15 years for me. You know what I'm saying? And if the world wasn't where it's at, 15 years would be enough. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you guys follow me? But inflation happens, right? You have people who overspend, and there's people who have social pressures, there's impulse buying, you know what I'm saying? There's the ideology that if you make more money, you spend more money, you know? And I fell into most of these reasons myself. At this time, I fell into it. I fell into it hard, guys, because this was my environment. This was my environment, guys. You know, like, there weren't people around me who weren't succumbing to the system of consumption, of overworking, of devaluing yourself. It's crazy. Everybody around me was doing that in their own way. You know what I'm saying? And so you fall into this. Who are your role models? Who are the best examples? Who are your teachers? When everybody's still trying to figure their own shit out. I even look at people who are financially stable, and I'll take a little, I'll sideswipe here a litstep, or sidestep, excuse me, a little bit. I even talk to people who claim, because when I talk to people, they don't actually show me their bank accounts. They don't show me their bank statements, you know? And I don't fall victim to people's houses, because you can show me pictures, or I could be at your house, I can see your car. That don't mean you're financially stable. So I'm debunking that. Sorry for you guys who think that is. It does not mean that you're financially stable. You're co-signed, or you're in complete debt, and you have to work forever to maintain that stuff, or do illegal activities to maintain that stuff. Anyway, I've talked to people who assume a status of financial stability, but their life is still broken. Their relationship is still broken. They can't mend certain things, mend certain traumas. So I don't want you guys to go ahead and think money is the savior and everything, right? Money is only a means. And I'm gonna make another video discussing. Hey, Spotty Cop. I'm gonna make another video discussing my hatred of spending money, guys. You know, and really what that means and the impact of it. Anyway, what's good about social media, right? Especially in the scrolling sense, you know, in the monotonous scrolling sense, is that you see everybody, quote unquote, going through something, going through it, quiet quitting, doom spending, over splurging, not being able to afford life, not being able to afford groceries, obviously healthcare. People are not having families, right? You hear about all this stuff in almost every video you see nowadays, right? You know, people are getting a voice, a platform, you know, to discuss just everyday life. So everybody is relating to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I asked in the beginning, can really anybody afford life? Honestly? And afford it in the means of, but like, can you go through life right now, at any age you guys are at, whether you're 20 or 78, can you go through life without having to be under somebody's nose to afford a check? Can you go through life without having to always check your bank account or you know, understand that if I spend this, I'm done for the month? You know, like, can we actually afford the basics of what living is? You know, if I break down living as far as basic cost of living, as far as overhead, you know, emergency fund / savings, groceries and food, travel / transportation, childcare, education. Like, if I'm just giving you guys basically categories or subcategories of how and why we spend, like, are we all at a negative? Is anybody even breaking even? You get what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you guys are struggling. You know, I bought a house last year, obviously being in the States, thinking I was gonna start this path of investing in property. All right, you know, I just had this whole plan, man. And as soon as I lose my job, and I'm talking about just for a couple months, it's like, screw that plan. Like, how are you gonna attack that plan when this was your main source of income? Or when your overhead doubled or tripled because you felt that was necessary to do. Or you were told and taught and brought up in an energy, in a system, in a design where you should get what you deserve. And what you deserve usually means spending more money. When if you can make more money or keep bills the same, you should be able to save more money. You get what I'm saying? And that's not happening for 90+% of Americans, guys. It's not happening. And it's never going to happen. It's never, I tell my wife all the time, I don't think most people will not be able to buy a home in the next 4 to 5 years. By 2030, people aren't buying homes. Like, that's going to be shut down. Why? Because it's happening right now. That's going to be done with, guys. I promise you. Childcare, healthcare, medical assistance, going to be out the roof. I mean, childcare right now, right? Any sort of childcare, part-time or full-time, right? That's in the thousands per kid. Basic stuff. And we only need childcare because, one or both parents have to work. Because we have to work to afford water. We have to work to afford food. We have to work, right, to be able to sit down on the couch on a Saturday. Like, when I think about how broken we actually are, how messed up we actually are, it saddens me. Like, we're so in it. Like when you're talking to a friend, whether you went through it or not, you're talking to a friend, well, especially if you went through it, but you're talking to a friend and who's in a domestic violence type of relationship, who's getting beat, like physically beat. Like, when I talk about emotionally, who's getting physically beat. And she's like, nah, I just kind of deal with it. He'll get better. Literally, I literally look at life like that, especially life in America. America has this grand influence over the world. So it's really life, you know what I'm saying? I look at life like that because we go out, we've been to a few other countries. America has its influence, guys. Do not get me wrong. But I truly look at life like that. We're so deep in it. Our ass has just been beat, guys. Like, I've seen people at work willing to take a pay cut. Like, not get a raise or offer a raise and shut it down. Willing to take a pay cut at a current job or going to a new job just to make sure they don't work more hours. So now they got to figure out finances, right? You're losing 10 to 20, maybe more percent of your at least gross income. Where is that coming from? Well, maybe they got to start doing something they could work, online from, right, at home, because they're trying to control their circumstances. People are just getting fucking fed up with just everything, dog. Like, I'm telling you, like, foreclosures are going to keep happening. Defaults are going to keep happening. I've talked to people. I promise y'all, we went into Wells Fargo a couple times. I've talked to people who are bank tellers, who are in the institution of advising or managing personal, other people's personal savings at a basic need. We're not talking to like money managers or financiers, right? But people who are somewhat directed or correlated into money management. You know what I'm saying? And they've told us that their children has multiple credit cards. You get what this is regular stuff. I mean, people are in tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt with credit, with just credit, let alone school, let alone housing, let alone transportation. It's wild, dog. We're so deep in it. Look, I'm trying to really paint a picture here. The Devils Wear Prada too. Big movie back in the early 2000s. And look, I never even seen it. I just heard about it a lot. I'm not interested. I never seen the first one, is what I'm saying. I don't think I'm gonna see the second one. But Devil Wears Prada too. I think it feeds people's nostalgic, muscle. Their nostalgic energy when you hear or watch, when you hear about movies, that are coming back into play. Anyway, it came out a couple of days ago, and the box office on its first weekend, guys, grossed almost $250 million around the world. $250 million. Hello, let it go. Quarter billion, guys. Thai people so nice, man. I gotta stop and say hi. $250 million. Yeah, look, how many? $250 million around the world, not just in the U.S. Around the world. I don't know how much tickets are, right? Let's just assume it's $20 per ticket. You guys do the math. Do 230. I think the exact number was like 233 million. Do that divided by 20. Look how many people went to go see a movie. Guys, like, and I'm not saying don't go see a movie. Like, really, like, I want to talk in face value, like, but sometimes you got to talk in code. Like, you gotta really hear the message sometimes behind the wording. You know what I'm saying? And that's really discernment. But it's like, why would you mention a movie? Or it's like only $15 to $20 a ticket. You know what I'm saying? Right? And a lot of people may only go to the movie theater once or twice a year. Like, very rare, you know what I'm saying? But why would I mention that? Well, look at what people can do in tandem without realizing that. I spend $20 and then I get whatever that math is. I get another 2 million people. If my math is right. What's that? 2 million people? 20 million people. I get 20 million people, dog, to go see the movie. This is in one weekend. That movie can possibly hit over $500 million in revenue, guys. You get how powerful that shit is? Why am I mentioning this? This is for one thing. If I'm telling y'all, man, outside of paying all these actors a ridiculous amount of money, and I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but y'all gotta really understand, man, how much we're just spending, right? So I told y'all, this is why I asked you to subscribe. I want y'all to really understand where I'm coming from with understanding life. There is a system that directly is making you guys fail. This is why life is expensive. However, part of that system, right? There's a formula within the system that gives you the option, that allows you to choose to further indulge, guys. You know, you get what I'm saying? And why, you know, if you're talking about spending $15 to $20 on a ticket, what does that really mean for me? Like, why are you mentioning that, right? Well, that movie, this one product, right? Piece of entertainment is gonna gross close to $1 billion, guys, way before the end of this year. And we as people will never see any of that shit, dog. Like, that's what bothers me. Like, we promote the livelihood and or the success of other people so much. It's just so ingrained in us. I mean, you go to concerts, guys, like, and the thing is, this is why we can't get ahead. Because they're like, wow, 20 million people went to go see this shit this weekend? Like, why would we not keep creating? Why would these people not create, these owners, right? The owners, the people behind the finance, the people who are moving the money. Why would they not keep creating something that would just continue to lead people to over consume in the grand scheme? Why? I'm saying this because it's not like go buy a ticket and if we hit, you know, over 200 million, half of that's going to be donated back to the public. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of my point. Yeah, we don't all live together, 20 million people. We don't know nobody from Adam. We don't. But the system doesn't care about one person. It cares about the population. The system don't care about me. They don't care about my wife. They don't care about my mom, my dad. Not in a singularity or in a singular fashion. The system is made to keep the masses. The system is not this just one. It's just like it's a one fits all type of clause, right? So I'm telling you guys this. I'm trying to promote self-awareness, and I'm trying to promote, being just grounded and, finding loopholes in the system. But I'm just one person. Just how 20 million people went to go see The Devil's Wear Prada this week, 20 million people have to be talking about this and then also exemplifying it at the same time. Just like how you talk about a movie and then you go see it, right? You're like, I can't wait to see it, and then you talk about it. So it's the same thing. It's like, I can't wait to change. Well, I'm trying to have y'all do this, and then we actually do it. It's the same practice, but 20 million people aren't, guys. At least not that I know. There would be a lot of more change if it was, I promise y'all. 20 million people went to go see one movie, and it grossed $250 million. All those actors, they don't even have to do that movie, but they have a lifestyle that they got to keep up. They can go ahead and restart their retirement again off of $250 million. All of them, all the actors, the people behind the camera, the directors, executive producers, all of them. We as people overconsume so much that we're setting up the lives of other people, not just once, not just twice, over and over again. We're giving all these people a reset, a financial reset. You get what I'm saying? We're keeping these people youthful in their finances, but we're not doing it for us. So I gotta give y'all both sides, because people are just gonna be like, it's the system, it's this. We're not, it's not helping us, which is, I 1,000% agree. But it's deeper than that. The system is also, the system is mainly psychological. It is psychological warfare. We think we don't have options, and then we move like we don't have options. The system makes us think that we have to spend in the way that we spend, and we actually do it. You get what I'm saying, guys? That's why nobody can afford life. It's twofold. It's immensely psychological. I gotta keep finding myself to tell people no. If I'm already struggling, guys, to pay for food, dog, to pay for my rent. People are getting evicted often. Foreclosures are happening. People are defaulting on their car loans. People are getting car loans for thousands of dollars a month, which is, again, doesn't make sense. So but if I'm gonna do that, right? I gotta play devil's advocate here. We gotta see the whole picture. If I'm gonna do that, if I'm gonna spend more, even if I'm spending in an impulsory type of way, here, I gotta say no to this. The problem is people aren't willing to do that. People are yes men with their money. That's why life is unaffordable. The way we promote Devil's Wear Prada too, and I'll stop bringing this up because I'm trying to make this connect. The way 20 million plus people went to go see that damn movie, right? It's literally what we do every day, right? It's what we do every day. When a mass indulgence happens, the system wins. It does, guys. It's emphatic. It's almost spiritual in a sense, right? It's something that we really can't contain, But if there's numbers who could go watch a damn movie, man, there got to be numbers who are willing to actually change their own life. See, it's powerful. It starts with me. And then it starts with whoever can watch this. And it starts with whoever can share this, right? Not just share and watch, right? Actually do it. Actually do it. I tell people no often. I have to, I have to. I got rid of my house and I'm looking to get rid of my other one. I can't wait. I want to be free from the attachment. I want to be free from the ever-longing, deepening void that spending money builds, dog, and spending money in the wrong places. We want, how can I put this, guys? Like, we want immense, immediate gratification. That's why we spend on things that go quickly. Snacks, alcohol, drugs, things that we need to keep feeding the body. You know what I'm saying? But we're not ever thinking about the long game. We're not ever thinking about spending slow. For some reason, imagine if we all just spent exactly what we would spend on going to a club. And we put it in an account to gain interest. Or we put it in an account that we don't touch for just another couple years, even if it's not compounding. It's just sitting there. It's like as soon as we get money, we gotta spend it. And again, we already gotta do that with bills. You know what I'm saying? We are already overspending with basic quality of life and still not getting that quality because we're still eating fake food or unhealthy food. We're taking placebo medicine or unhealthy medicine. So we're still spending, assuming we're getting some sort of quality, some sort of remediation, and we're not. It's a rabbit hole, guys. And I'm trying to exploit it. Because there's an example almost every hour of the day since I've been alive, dog, that shows that this system is in place and it's working profoundly. And you guys are gonna watch this. This may come up on your feed. If the algorithm does its thing, it may not. Because why would it? Why would YouTube push this and tell people to stop spending so egregiously? Guys, I talk to people who got multiple jobs. Why on earth are we working multiple jobs? Literally. It's so normal. Everybody's trying to start a business. It's just so normal. And it's like, what's crazy is it wasn't always like this. So the system self-develops. The system understands life better than we do. You know what I'm saying? They know people are gonna age out. You know, you gotta. System has to meet us halfway a little bit, and they did that, right? You know, late 70s, 80s, 90s, right? They did that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They let black people into the entertainment, put a little money in our pocket, right? Not saying it was good and bad. They put a little money in our pocket. They allowed people, you know, to just make one income and live off of that for a little bit. They allow people to go to work, especially, you know, the white collars, professionals go to work, and the wife can stay home. We're living nicely. We may take one vacation, maybe a year, but we're living nicely off of one income. By the time we can retire, before we retire, right? Early 2000s, late 90s, our house is paid off. We never even had a car, so there's no car note. We can retire and we have a pension. Like, the system had to give a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The system is smart. And then it said, this shit's enough. Let's turn it up. Let's turn this shit up. Let's start desensitizing people. 2001, 9/11. Let's start desensitizing people. You know what I'm saying? Let's start desensitizing people. YouTube came out. Social media rolled out. Facebook was already, MySpace was already there, right? Let's just start desensitizing people, guys. Let's do it. Let's ramp it up. 2010, 2011, let's start desensitizing people. Barack Obama came into the presidency, shook the world up a little bit. Oh, okay, we're in there a little bit. No, we're not. Let's keep shaking it up. Let's keep shaking it up. You know? You know, let's go, guys. COVID. Let's go, guys. You know what I'm saying? Let's go, guys. AI. Aliens. Let's just keep shaking this up. Let's just keep being overconsumed egregiously. Let's just keep being lied to egregiously. The system is taking everything they can because they know that this. Look, I'm telling y'all, and I end on this because I feel like I may be getting off track and I don't want to lose people. The system knows that death is inevitable. They gotta take as many people as possible. You know, it's a must. They gotta take as many people as possible, guys. This shit is inevitable. You know, you guys gotta, man. I'll tell you this, this may be a separate video. I would say, and I'm not even gonna mention race, that doesn't matter. I was telling my wife this yesterday. You know, the elites, they're taking anybody they can. They're influencing anybody they can. It don't matter if you're black anymore. White people are getting scammed by white people. White people are profiting off of white people. This shit don't matter. But I end on this. If you guys are not, I would say, over the age of 40, you know what I'm saying? If you guys are not over the age of 40, try to change your situation. Because I think once you're over that age, guys, and I'm not saying, you know, I don't want to make judgments, but there's a sense of unlearning that really has to happen sooner rather than later. And I just think we get really set in our ways. From a political perspective, from a religious perspective, usually if we're older. Not saying people can't change the situation, but I'm telling you guys, right? I want to relate here, right? As I'm still, and time's going by, I'm like, man, I was 20 over 10 years ago. Time's going by. So I want to still talk to people who are around my age, guys. Like, man, let's pivot. Change. Don't look at what's going on. I'm telling you, it's all a facade. I'm telling you, like, and it's crazy. It's getting hard for me to live like this. It's getting hard for me to mentally be this aware and mentally, you know, try to transpose that into just a physical adaptation. I gotta just provide myself and my family all the time. It's getting hard to deal with that because it makes me want to talk to less people. It makes me want to spend less money. It makes me want to indulge less in what humans desire, guys. Like it's taxing. It truly is. And I think that's why people, you know, if you watch The Matrix, that's why Cypher is like, I'd rather just stick with eating just the fake meat. I mean, that's what people do in the States right now, is eating fake meat. They're like, screw it. It doesn't even matter. They know other options they have, but you just get stuck. There's that third level, guys, and I end on here. That's that third level of the system. The system is to keep you stuck or force you to be in a situation where you don't know your options and you can't unplug. There's another formula, secondarily, that provides you options and loopholes. Yet you're good with where you're at. Or you fall into the traps where signs and flags are provided. And then third, you don't even care. Like, it doesn't even matter what I'm saying or other people who talk about this are saying. It's null and void. You don't click into it. You don't hear about anything that's going on. Life is very surface and very physical for you. That's just what it is, guys. This is why life is expensive. I kind of went on a little rant, but this picture has to be painted. It's not physical. It's not a physical game that we're playing to why you guys feel like, you know, you're making money or even good money, great money, and you're still feeling stuck, broke, poor, in despair. It's because it's not a physical game. That's why I wanted to get into this route. That's why I want to mention this. So anyway, you know, I don't want to say this is just for like-minded people, because who am I to say that? If it makes sense to anybody, guys, leave a like, hit us up, man. Because it's really sad, the direction where it's going. Like, it's like I felt like I've been in a cave for 31 years. You know what I'm saying? I'll say maybe 25, because I was a kid. You know, when you're 5, 6, you're not really looking at stuff too much. So for the last 25 plus years, guys, a quarter of a century, I felt like I was in a cave. And it's like I got the muscle somehow. I was doing push-ups or whatever. Something drove me to get the strength to remove the wall or remove the barricade from the cave. And now I see all this shit outside. I'm telling you, that's literally how I felt over the last like 12 to 18 months, guys. Like end of 2024, like that's literally how I've been feeling. This shit is too bright. It's just so much stuff. So like when light becomes too bright, you know, like your eyes, like you feel overstimulated. Like, where do I look? You know, because you can't stare directly into the sun. You can't stare directly into the light. It's gonna hurt you. It's too much. And that's just how I feel, guys. Anyway, guys, keep pivoting, change your situation, man. It start it starts by being open-minded, getting out and seeing different environments and topographies, and straight away just telling people no, this is enough. I'm not doing it. Just tell people no, guys. I promise y'all. There is power in mitigation. There's power in just limiting, like, self-indulgences. It's it's hard to do, but we got to build a community, or like get into a circle to where we're feeling similar, So hopefully I said something that made sense, guys.